Hi, this is Steve from the Movie News, and since it was Halloween, I thought I would treat myself to a truly shocking, horrific film. Yes, that's right, you guessed it. No, it wasn't Star Wars Episode 1. This time it was G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. So, first of all, who was this film aimed at? Who was its target audience? Because it was a little bit too violent for the Batman and Robin 6-year-old that I was talking about in my Batman reviews, but it's really far too cheesy and crap for anyone who likes action movies. It's definitely not for anyone who grew up playing with the original G.I. Joe toys and was a fan of the original G.I. Joe cartoon. So it falls into the same category as Alien vs Predator and Terminator 3, the who the hell is this made for category. I don't know anyone that this could be made for. Maybe 12-year-olds? But wouldn't a 12-year-old be more interested in anything better than this? So the film is based loosely around the G.I. Joe franchise, and I don't like any of the characters. The acting is terrible. The special effects are terrible. The storyline is terrible. They have really pointless backstories that we don't actually care about, and everything, the relationships, the way the characters interact is just so fake and terrible. The movie is truly terrible. But upon watching it for the second time after the first, I actually had to sit through this twice to try and suss it, because I was desperate to work out why it was so bad, and I think I've worked it out. The main reason this movie is so bad is because it was made in 2009, and that's not saying anything about 2009's movies in their quality. What I'm saying is this film was made in 2009. This movie was 1998 quality, and that is why I think it absolutely fails, for me especially. Now, if I was watching this film back in 1998, and even though some of the movies I'm going to mention are pretty poor as well, I could at least see it fitting into that time and the cinema of the era. If I'd watched this film around the same time as Broken Arrow, Independence Day, Godzilla, I would have at least understood why it was as bad as it was, and why the special effects were like that, and why it was that camp, cheesy Hollywood writing where they tried to do action but tried to do funny at the same time. But for 2009 there's no excuse, and that's the problem. The filmmakers have not moved on since 1999, when they got a surprise hit with The Mummy back in 1999. They just haven't bothered to up their game or change how they are making films. The most disappointing thing has to be just the lack of ambition with the G.I. Joe characters. Snake Eyes, yes, does look great, but other than that, you've got, again, B-movie acting in something they're trying to pass off as an A movie. I don't mind it being a B movie if that's what it's set up to be, but it's not, because it's not self-aware enough to know that it could be a B movie. The backstory between Duke and Baroness is absolutely the biggest waste of screen time in history. It's just unconvincing and totally pointless. Christopher Eccleston's character is just, it's like straight out of Gone in 60 Seconds. There's no more development. The fact that Destro and the Mark, it's just, oh god damn it, the whole plot, the story, it's just bullshit. This truly is crap. This is bad movie making 101, lazy movie making. The fact they threw in those stupid robotic suits, and it was just like, it felt like a jump on, oh well, Iron Man's going to be a good hit, so let's throw in some stupid Iron Man suits to try and make our film look better. And the fact they used nanomites to explain everything, I completely bought The fact that nanomites might make a super weapon that can consume an entire city, yes. I bought into that nanomites could make super soldiers. But pick one or the other. You can't keep using nanomites to explain every single aspect of your story. The plot was a mishmash. It had a basic idea, but the way they veered in and out of it was pointless. If you're going to go from A to B, just do it well. Don't go from A to B and throw in loads of C's, D's, E's, F's, Z's everywhere and make some kind of weird scatter chart of the alphabet that looks like you've fucking eaten it, thrown it up and just pissed all over it. To sum up, G.I. Joe was an absolutely terrible movie that was way out of its decade. And if the filmmakers are going to carry on making films like this, then they need to just get a DeLorean and go back 10 years and relive their career at a time when they might have been relevant.